let's begin again our discussion of Kabbalah, which is an ancient Judaic mystical tradition that is the underlying and foundational tradition that really underlies and supports all the Western mystery traditions in general. Specifically, it is connected with the Hermetic tradition. It is also connected with Freemasonry. It is also connected with the study of tarot and other traditions as well, as we'll see tonight. So, I'm going to cover a lot of ground here. I'm going to move kind of fast. Sephirotic Tree of Life is the main symbol of the Kabbalistic tradition. This is a symbolic tree that is drawn with 10 spheres or circles, okay? And these are called Sephirot. Sephirot it means emanation, okay? It's plural word. Sephirah is the singular. And emanation, or a basic essence or quality, something that arises, okay? That's what this is, what this word means, okay? So if you hear this, the tree of the Sephirot, or the Sephirotic Tree of Life, you'll know we're talking about the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. And these images are that I'm going to be referring to. It's going to be much easier if you're looking at the images as we're talking about this. The Sephirot, or the emanations, the spheres on this Tree of Life, are connected by different paths, okay, in an arrangement. And these paths represent different aspects. They represent Hebrew characters of the Hebrew alphabet, okay? They represent tarot cards, because tarot and Kabbalah need to be studied in conjunction with each other, okay? Tarot is also all about the qualities of the self and the universe. They call it the Book of Life, and it is basically a pictorial, symbolic representation of the soul's journey through life, as is the Tree of Life as well, as we will see. Now, these 10 Sephirot, they are spoken about in the tradition of the Kabbalah as emanations or qualities, and there are prescriptions against adding or taking away. You'll see this as a recurrent theme when you study religion in general, specifically Judaism, the study of the Torah, and the ancient books of the Kabbalah, like the Zohar. There is a prescription often given in these books that it is considered blasphemy, or something tragic will occur if anything is removed or added. So books of the Bible, you'll often hear this warning, and you see this come up in the Kabbalistic tradition, specifically in the Zohar, because there are 10 Sephirot on the Tree of Life in Kabbalah. There are not 9 and there are not 11. Okay, and this is said in the Zohar that it is considered, a blasphemy to speak of either 9 Sephirot or 11 Sephirot. It is prescribed not to think about, not to consider any more than 9, any more than 10, or any less than 10. So not 9, not 11. And you will see on the image there seems to be 11 spheres, but this one that is completely behind the tree, if you can make out the letters, it says dot, D-A-A-T-H, dot, okay? Dot is called the hidden realm, okay? It is not one of the Sephirot. It is a hidden sphere, or a truly occulted realm. And some people in Kabbalah speak of this realm as the void of the subconscious, the realm that we go into to connect to higher levels of consciousness through meditation. It is the unspoken. It is the abyss, the veiled aspect of ourselves. Okay, it is the part that really, the part of ourselves that we really connect with when we are silent, when we go into wordless contemplation or meditation, and this connects us to the infinite source. And the realm of Da'at, and I'm kind of jumping ahead to something that is more advanced. I just want to talk about this in relation to that it is not one of the Sephirot. There are 10, and this is not one of them. It is not considered one of the emanations on the tree. But rather, Da'at is considered one of the places from which the tree emerges. So this is kind of I guess you could call it the realm of the birthing of the tree of life. Okay, like the birthing of the soul. And these are all the soul qualities. So it's like kind of a cosmic womb of sorts. Okay, and it is a hidden realm. Some people call it the realm of hidden knowledge. It is kind of likened to the Akash in other traditions, in Eastern traditions. Okay, so if you've heard of the Akashic records, this is some people liken this to what Da'at represents in Kabbalah. And there are different interpretations on this, so my word is not the final one, but I'm giving you my understanding of it from my readings and study. Okay, so let's start to break down the 10 Sephirot. The first realm on the tree, the first Sephirot, is Keter. That is up at the top. Okay, this is the crown. Okay, this is the Ancient of Days, as they call it in Kabbalah. And what this is basically cosmic consciousness. It's the highest level of awareness. And Malkuth, down at the bottom of the tree, where the tree stands upon, the base of it, is the physical world. It is the material realm. This is, a material identified state of awareness. And then the other spheres are all different aspects and qualities of the self. So at the top we have Keter, and then to the right, on what is called the Pillar of Mercy, we have Hokmah. Okay, Hokmah means wisdom. It's what we do with what we know. On the left-hand side from Hokmah, we have Binah, B-I-N-A-H. This means understanding. So this is simple knowledge. Okay. Hesed on the right-hand side, on the Pillar of Mercy, this right-hand path of the tree. Okay, means mercy, Hesed. On the left-hand side of the Pillar of Severity, right in the middle, for which it is named, is Geburah, which means severity. So these are different aspects of how we can deal with ourselves, with others in the world. We can exercise self-control, which would be like Geburah, or we could exercise influence upon others, which would be Hesed. Tiferet, in the very middle of the tree, is the heart. This is the care qualities of the individual. We had a little bit of technical problems. Those are cleared up. And I was talking about how there's 10 Sephirot, or emanations, on this tree. They represent different aspects of the personality, the psyche, soul qualities, in other words. And they're arranged on 3 vertical paths. So if you look at image number 1 on the site, you will see that there is 3 pillars or paths. The pillar of severity is on the left, the pillar of mercy is on the right, and the pillar of mildness, sometimes referred to as the pillar of will, is between the two, in the middle. Referred to as the middle pillar, simply, sometimes. So the pillar of severity we shouldn't look at as something that is dark or evil. It is internal. These are internal or yin qualities of the individual. The pillar of mercy are the pillar of severity on the left-hand side is the lunar pillar. The pillar of mercy on the right-hand side is the solar pillar. These are the active qualities, or the masculine qualities, the yang energy qualities of the individual. The pillar of mildness or will in the middle are the synthesis between the two, or they are unitary qualities of the individual that lean neither toward the active or passive, the masculine or feminine. Okay? So Keter at the top. This is the Sephirot number 1. Now, how they go in order, I was starting to tell people this last week, but this is the order. You start at the top, and that's 1, where it says Keter. Okay? Then you go to the right, and that's the second one, Hokmah. Then back to the left, and that's Binah. So we're going to go in like a lightning bolt pattern. Okay? So it's going to go from the top, then to the right, then to the left, back to the right, back to the left. Okay, then we would go to Tiferet in the middle, then down to the bottom of the pillar of mercy, Netzah, and then Hod. So I'll give you the order real quick, okay? Keter is number 1. Number 2 is Hokmah on the right, the top of the pillar of mercy. Number 3 is Binah at the top of the pillar of severity. Number 4 is Hesed. That's the middle of the pillar of mercy on the chart there, okay? That means mercy. Keter means crown. Hokmah means wisdom. Binah is understanding. That's 3, okay? 4, Hesed, on the middle of the right-hand pillar, means mercy. To the left of the of Hesed is Geburah. That's at the left-hand side of the middle of the pillar of severity. Geburah is severity. Okay, the middle of the tree, right on the middle pillar, is Tiferet. Okay, Tiferet is beauty. This corresponds to the heart or care. Okay, Netzah. Okay, that's Tiferet is number 6. Netzah is number 7. That's at the very base of the pillar of mercy. On the right-hand side, Netzah, that's victory, okay? It would correspond to will, power. Hod, on the left-hand side, at the bottom of the pillar of severity, that's Sephirot number 8. Hod is splendor, okay? Yesod, in the middle, on the middle pillar, just above Malkut, that's Sephirah number 9, okay? And this is foundation. And then Malkut is the bottom one at the very base of the tree, okay? And this is the physical plane. This is the material world, Malkut. It means kingdom. So, let's start there. And if you're looking at image number 1, it says Kabbalah, Tree of Life. It has the tree itself, the pillars listed, all of the Sephirot are labeled, and then there are attributions on the right, and you see that there are 4 realms that this tree is divided up into. We'll get into those in a moment and how they correlate to different aspects of the personality as well. So Malkut, the bottom of the tree, Sephirah number 10, okay? And you see it has a symbol there where it's the symbol of earth, and it's broken into 4. It's an equal armed cross with a circle around it, the 4 quadrants. This represents earth, air, water, and fire, or the material realm, the material plane. And Malkut is the base level of awareness and consciousness. It is our physical instincts. It is our simply physical lives. Okay, it is the physical aspects of the individual. Some people call them the animalistic attributes. Okay, these are simply base instincts and survival needs. That's what Malkuth represents. It corresponds to the base chakra. Okay, and I'll go over that in a moment when we look at image number 2. Okay. Above Malkuth is Yesod. Now, I'll talk about the Kabbalistic worlds as I talk about the Sephirot. Okay, so Malkuth is the bottom of this tree, and this corresponds to the Kabbalistic world. There are 4 worlds in Kabbalah, as they are known, and this is the lowest of the 4. Okay, it's called Asiyah. Assiah. Asiyah is the physical world or the material plane. As we've already talked about, that's what Malkuth is associated with. And this is, on the image, I've given it the Hebrew character He, because in the four-letter name of God in Hebrew, it's called the Tetragrammaton, the four-letter name of God, is Yod He Vav He. That transliterates into English as YHVH, which we pronounce Yahweh or Jehovah, okay? And this is the final character in the name. It corresponds to the element of earth, which I've put there over on the right-hand side with its alchemical symbol. So Asiyah is the physical world, the material plane, or the element of earth, and it corresponds with Malkuth. Now, as we move above and out of the pure identification with the physical world, we have other attributes that we develop in the course of our lives, and we basically start to go up into higher planes of development. The first is the mental plane, then the emotional plane, then the plane of the will. And these correspond with different sephirot, okay? Specifically, they correspond with what are called the triangles. There are 3 triangles that form the other 9 sephirot, okay? So we have Yesod, Hod, and Netzah, and that's the world of Yetzirah, the formative world or the mental plane, okay? I'll be getting to these as we explain each sephirot in detail. Yesod is the next sephirah, and this means foundation. Now, this is the desire aspect of the personality. And again, it could be positive or negative, but in its positive aspect, it represents desire to want to know, to want to improve oneself, desire to want to get out of the purely materialistically identified realm and get to a higher level of consciousness. So to come out of Malkuth and to go up into higher levels of development is what Yesod really represents. It's the beginnings of initiation. And as we saw last week and a few weeks ago when we studied the chakras, this sphere would correspond to the sacrum chakra, okay, which is the desire chakra near the genitals of the body. So this is the desire center of the individual, and this is the first place that we connect for beginning or initiation into higher levels of knowledge and awareness. Above Yesod to the left is Hod, okay, Sephirah number 8, and this is splendor. And another word that I would use in place of that would simply be courage, because this is the horizontal bar that connects Hod and Netzah represents the solar plexus chakra, okay, and this is Hod and Netzah together represent the solar plexus, because the solar plexus represents the will center of the body, or guts in general, courage. So it's not just courage, but it's then action, okay? So Hod would be the internal qualities of that aspect of willpower, and which is courage, and Netzah is the external attributes, which is taking action in the world, or actual willpower to do things. So that's called victory, Netzah. So these two together, it's what's called a dualistic chakra, or a dualistic sephirot. That's why they're on that bar that actually is kind of like a rung on a ladder. Again, the Kabbalistic tree is often referred to as the ladder to God. And that's very important. Hod and Netzah, if you bring them together, they form the solar plexus chakra, okay, in the middle. And they're simply two different aspects of those qualities within the individual. Again, the pillar of severity, you could look at that as the internal qualities. So Hod would represent courage, and the external qualities on the pillar of mercy, Netzah would represent actual action in the world, getting things done, willpower to get things done. Okay? Now, this is where we left off last week with Tiferet. Okay, Tiferet is beauty. That's the very middle of the tree of life. And you see it has the most connections to it because this is what the universe centers around. And it's given the attribute of the sun in the Kabbalistic tradition. Tiferet represents the heart chakra as well. And this is the realm of beauty or care or concern. It is love, essentially, love energy. The generative principle, care. That's what Tiferet is all about. And when in the Christian tradition they say none come to the Father but through me, and these are words attributed to Jesus, we see that Keter is the Father, and it's the Ancient of Days. Okay, and that represents the actual God, or the Creator God. Okay, Tiferet represents the Son of that quality. Okay, of that force, which its attribution is the sun. We see in astrotheology how Jesus is a representation of the sun, which we studied in previous weeks. And we can see that it is the path along the middle pillar that you must pass through to get to Keter from Malkut. Okay, the Yesod is on the middle pillar as well, right before Tiferet is the care center, and that is the middle of the tree of life. The most connections are made to this because, again, this represents the generative principle, and this is what really the universe is centered around. So it is probably the most important Sephirah on the tree of life as far as I'm concerned. This is what we really have to get in touch with if we are going to get up to the high levels of this climb in consciousness. And so it is true. None come to the Father but through the Son. This is a Kabbalistic allegory, so to speak. Okay, it's a Kabbalistic attribution that's really being spoken there for those who understand it. Above Tiferet to the left, you get to Sephirot number 5, which is Geburah. That means severity. And again, this is a quality that of self-control, of working upon oneself, of sometimes needing to reel in qualities within ourselves that are out of control. This is the thing that I call dominion, self-mastery, or simply achieving sovereignty. Being that as you think, so you feel, and so you act. And then action is connected with this because these are two aspects of the same chakra. Geburah and Hesed, when they come together, when we bring them together on the middle pillar, they represent the throat chakra. Okay, and this is all about influence. How we can speak severely or with mercy. Okay, we can chastise or we can encourage. Okay, we can invoke fear or we could inspire. Okay, so different aspects of the way we speak. This is, these two spheres are about how we interact with ourselves and with others in the world. So Hesed is mercy, and this is influence of others. And it could be dark influence as well. When we talk about, there's a corresponding tree to this in Qlippothic Kabbalah, which is called the tree of death. And all of the attributes are all about the pure negative qualities within the individual and, how they can influence other people to do their bidding and do their will and manipulate their mind. So I'll be briefly talking about Qlippoth later in the show. But Hesed, on the pillar of mercy, is influence of other people around you, okay? Being an inspiration, helping to help others to attain higher levels of awareness if we use it in the proper aspect. Okay, Binah this is Sephirot number 3, Sephirah number 3 now, and this is on the top of the pillar of severity on the left-hand side. Binah means understanding, and understanding is an intellectual quality, and it is simply pure knowing, and it is the internal quality. Again, it is the knowledge that we carry within us through our experiences, through our readings, through our studies, through who we talk to, who we pay attention to, what we watch and listen to as far as media goes, etc. These are all the mental qualities of of the individual. Binah is the internal qualities of knowledge, okay? And it is simply what we know. Okay, so this is, again, on the pillar of severity, which is the internal pillar. So it is simply knowledge or understanding.
Related to the realm of basic knowledge, the knowledge that we carry around with us. It's an internal quality because it's simply what we know, not what we do with what we know. What we do with what we know would relate to Chokmah, which is Sephirah number 2, at the top of the pillar of mercy. So Sephirah number 2, Chokmah, at the top of the pillar of mercy on the right-hand side would relate to what we do with what we know. And that is wisdom. That's what Chokmah is connected with, wisdom. So that is the last Sephirah before Keter. Keter is, of course, the crown, which represents the highest level of consciousness that human beings can attain to, and it is the top of the pillar of mildness, or the middle pillar. So if you look to the right of this chart, you will see different attributions given to these levels of the tree. The three triangles, the three Sephirah that form a triangle between Yesod, Hod, and Netzah, just above Malkut, represents the world called Yetzirah, or the formative world. This is the mental plane. It is the alchemical attribution of air. So, earth, air, water, and fire are how the alchemical attributions progress in upward progression, earth being the lowest and fire being the highest. These correspond to the four worlds in Kabbalah, with Asiyah being the lowest on the physical or material plane, and then Yetzirah above that, which is the formative world, the world of formation, which is where ideas begin to take shape. Bria is the world above Yetzirah, and this represents the creative world, or the emotional plane. So this is the alchemical symbol of water, as we see it there on the chart. This is an internal quality, okay? And this, the triangle that is represented on the Kabbalistic tree is the one that is formed with the three Sephirot of Tiferet, Geburah, and Hesed. It's a downward pointing triangle, is a downward pointing triangle, as is the triangle that is formed by Yesod, Hod, and Netzah, or the world of Yetzirah. So Bria is I guess you could call it the sacred feminine aspect of the worlds of Kabbalah. It is the internal aspects. It is the purely created world. Some people call this the astral plane, the astral world, or the astral plane. Now, above that is one more realm that is even higher in consciousness, and it is closer to pure source, without any form at all, and it's called Absolute. Absolute is the archetypal realm. This is the world of just pure archetypal imagery. It's a pure idea. It's pure spirit, if you will. Okay? It's alchemical fire. It's the realm of will and spirit, from which all things that come into formation originate. So this is given the Hebrew character Yod, which is the first name in the Tetragrammaton, and it also corresponds with the alchemical symbol of fire. So these four worlds are all different aspects of the individual, and it represents basically Asiyah, the physical world. That represents what we have, our physical attributes, the situation we might be born into, what resources we have in the world. It could correspond with money. It could correspond with, what our talents, our basic talents are. Yetzirah is the formative or mental plane. This would correspond with, how we use our mind. It would basically relate to the things that we study and take into ourselves intellectually, and our capacities in that regard. Bria, the creative world or the emotional plane, is how we use our heart. And again, Tiferet is based in this world, and this is basically care. It's our water. How do you carry your water, in other words? So this is the realm that has to do with the generative principle, the creative world, care. What we care about is what we create. Absolute, the archetypal world, is the world of pure spirit, or the plane of will. It's ultimately what drives everything. And that's the archetypal world, and that's alchemically attributed to the concept of fire. Now, moving to the next image here, to move along in these concepts, we see the tree of life and its relationship to the chakras. I was briefly explaining this last week, but I made a visual representation of it. We talked about the planetary system corresponding to the chakras of the body, and here we see a chart in image number 2 that basically relates all of these concepts together. If we collapse the 3 dualistic sephiroth into one along the middle pillar, we would get the 7 chakras. The base, or Muladhara chakra, the root chakra, and I corresponded that to Saturn in the attributions related to the planets when it comes to correlating them with the chakras of the body. The Seer Yesod on the Tree of Life corresponds to the sacrum chakra, the Swadhisthana chakra. I corresponded that to Jupiter along the planetary solar system chakra points, if you will. Hod and Netzah would both correlate to the solar plexus chakra, or the planet Mars. Tiferet is or beauty, would correspond to the heart chakra, as we talked about. The Anahata chakra, that is. Okay. The throat chakra, or the Vishuddha chakra, corresponds to the spheres of Deborah and Hesed, progressing upward on the Tree of Life. Again, another dualistic Sephiroth, which when combined form the throat chakra. Binah and Hokmah, when they come together, form the Ajna chakra, or the third eye chakra, or the planet Mercury. The throat chakra, of course, corresponds to Venus. The heart chakra with Earth. Okay. Binah and Hokmah correspond to the third eye chakra, or Mercury. They're the mercurial aspects. So what we know, and then what we decide to do with what we know. And Keter represents the crown chakra. Again, this is pure being, higher level of awareness, cosmic consciousness, Christ consciousness, if you will, and this corresponds to the Sahasrara chakra, or the crown chakra of the body. And there are the 7 chakras as it relates to the 7 levels of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. We see that this, if we move to image number 3, we see that this is what the menorah, which is a Jewish candelabra that is used during Passover. This is about the Tree of Life as well. It's a different orientation of the Tree of Life and the 10 Sephiroth. I want to talk about the other soul qualities that are spoken about in Kabbalah as it relates to the 4 worlds. We see at the bottom there Nefesh, the animal soul, and this is correlates to, if you look at the 4 worlds, this correlates to Asiyah, or the physical plane. He calls it the animal soul. This is just basically the root instincts of the individual. Above that, corresponding to Yetzirah, is Ruach, which is the mind's eye. This is our intellectual capacities. Of course, this corresponds to the Vav character in the Tetragrammaton, which is a nice visual depiction there on the left. Okay. Above that, this would correspond to the world of Bria, which is Neshama. Neshama is intuition. This is the sacred feminine quality. Again, that world corresponded with water, and it's the first Hay character in Yod Hey Vav Hey. And above that, we have the universal life force, okay, or alchemical fire. This is Atzilut in the worlds of Kabbalah, in the four worlds, and this universal life force is known as Chia. So these are the four life qualities or soul qualities in Kabbalah. We see over and over again that 1, 4, 7, and 10 are sacred numbers in the Kabbalistic tradition. These come up over and over again. There's 4 other principles I want to talk about, concepts. These are the 3 levels of the nothingness that are spoken about in Kabbalah, and then the dark realm, or the hell world, called Qlippoth. So if you look at image number 5, you often see this depicted above the tree of life, these 3 levels of nothing, as they talk about it in the Kabbalah, of the void. These are realms that are realms of the creator intelligence itself. And they are called the Ein Sof Or, which is the boundless light, which is above Keter. This Keter, again, is, we talk about the Kabbalistic tree. This is the divine's breaking up into different aspects, so it can experience itself in the physical world, the physical domain or dimension that we live in. So this is about the elevation of human consciousness to levels of higher levels of awareness, ending with Keter, and then above that we have, the unified realm that they look at as having 3 levels to it. The Ein Sof Or being the boundless light. This is kind of what they refer to as the light in Freemasonry when they say fiat lux, let there be light. The Creator, the first words of the Creator spoken in Genesis. The light of the Creator in Kabbalah, this is considered the Ein Sof or what is called the boundless or limitless light. Above that realm, you have something that is even beyond the light, which is the potentiality of creation, which is the boundless itself. This is just, there's no physical dimension to it whatsoever. It is just boundlessness and limitlessness. People look at this as pure empty space, and the nothingness between the stars, so to speak. And then finally you have the Ein, which is just nothing, pure void, the absolute potentiality that is underlies all of creation, the no thing from which the everything emerges, the silence from which all vibration emerges. So these are kind of very heady, abstract concepts, but I figured I'd put them in there nonetheless because they're considered important concepts in Kabbalah. And finally, underneath the tree of life, there is a realm as well. So this is the concept of correspondence in the Hermetic tradition, which is also taught in the Kabbalistic tradition of as above, so below. As there are regions above the tree, there are regions below the tree. And I put this region in red and labeled it. It is known as Qlippoth. Qlippoth is the dark realm, deep subconscious realms that underlie physical creation, and some people say are the hell worlds that sometimes disincarnate consciousnesses may want to enter our physical dimension from. And you hear about different researchers talking about that what's really going on is that people are actually inhabited by other consciousnesses from other dimensions that want control and want to feed off of fear. And this is what Qlippoth is. Qlippoth is this hell world where it is basically the deepest and darkest recesses of the human subconscious that connect with other dimensions of existence that are very dark and not geared toward the elevation or mastery of the individual, but toward the control of the individual. And dark Kabbalists practice what is known as Qlippothic Kabbalah. And in the Qlippothic Kabbalah, there is a whole other tree, which I have not talked about, which is called the tree of death, not the tree of life. So if you do further study on that and you research Qlippothic Kabbalah, this is the black magical side of Kabbalah. And this is what the sorcerers of the world use. It is one of the methodologies that they use to gain access to our subconscious and control us and put us on strings like puppets through our desires and our fears. This is the realm of fear, is how I would describe Qlippoth. Okay, Qlippoth is the realm of fear. It is the realm of dark negative energy. Okay, it is it's the Antichrist realm, so to speak. This is not the realm of the light of the Creator, as the Ein Sof or Ein Sof and Ein are, but this is the realm of the demon world. Okay, so that's all I'll say about it for now. But it's an interesting study. It's more difficult to get information on Qlippothic Kabbalah. Maybe I can post some, because I do have some in my library. And I'll try to do my best to put some good resources up on the website for people to look into further, and I'll do that sometime tomorrow. So finally, I'm going to wrap up tonight with a breakdown of Kabbalah when it comes to the tarot. And this is an even more fascinating study, in my opinion. Tarot is one of my favorite mystical traditions. It is a very rich tradition symbolically and spiritually, and if you really understand what these cards are speaking to us, it's a beautiful tradition. So on images number 7 and 8 on the website, we see two trees. The first tree, image number 7, I didn't get a chance to label it. I put this up last minute. And I'll label it probably for the podcast images. We see the microcosmic tree of life, okay? Image number 8 is known as the macrocosmic tree. Now, all of these cards form the major arcana of the tarot deck. The major arcana means knowledge, and the major knowledge is the higher realm of knowledge. This is the knowledge of the soul and the universe, and its relationship to each other. The lower realms are the realms of the personality, okay, the lower knowledge, the minor arcana, okay, and these are the decks in the tarot, and they correlate to the playing card decks, okay. So only appropriate that we leave it off there this week. I won't go any further. I'll leave it there. And we have about a minute left. Like I said, we'll talk more about tarot next week. Maybe I can complete this breakdown of the microcosmic and macrocosmic trees, and then we can look at the tradition of the tarot. Hopefully we won't have too many audio difficulties. Looks like that was all blizzard related. We're in a full-blown blizzard here in Philadelphia today. But I guess that's all we have time for, folks. I want to thank everybody for listening. Sorry I didn't get a chance to take more calls. You've been listening to What on Earth is Happening right here on the Intel Hub News Network. I'll see everybody right here next week. Thank you, and good night.
Me and my buddies, that traveling people, we like to go down a restaurant.